You know, the way we do anything is the way that we do everything because we're creatures of habit and doing things over and over again in certain ways. And what it does is it almost dictates the results you're going to get in life. And the reason why it happens like this is because thinking is one of the hardest things we can do, and it takes up a lot of energy to think. So we get into these patterns and we just do things the same way. Do you notice if you're going to procrastinate on one thing, you're going to procrastinate on just about everything. You hold back. Or if you're going to do anxiety, if you do things with going into something with anxiety, you're going to do it with everything. And it's going to impact the results that you're getting in your life, your career, your relationships, your business. It has a massive impact. So the question is then, how do we get out of this? How do we get out of this change? And okay, I'm saying it's a simple thing because I do it I do it a lot with clients. And when you first come across it, it may seem hard. If you think it's hard, it is hard. So the question is then, well, how can we change this? And it's through reprogramming your mind on the way you do things. And that may sound pretty heavy. Reprogramming your mind, it sounds like you can go in and do something pretty radical inside my head. And in a way it is, because it's going to change the results that you're getting in your life. In the particular thing that you want to change in your life, you're going to have, if you want this change, you're going to have to create a change. And the first place to create the change is the way you use your mind. So we've got to get in there and adjust all the programming, all the conditioning that's been happening to you from birth, through the imprint period of your first 7 years, through the role modeling period of the next 7 years, and then the socializing. And then when you go to your tertiary studies or your apprenticeship and then into your career, all these things are having an impact on you. They've been conditioning you. The other things conditioning you: religion, entertainment, politics, education. All these things have had an impact. And to be able to make a change, you've got to start thinking differently. And you've got to tap in to both your heart and your mind. Like, we can set practical goals, and this is what I do with every client. That before we even get started, because I like to build, that know, like, and trust before we get going. And I want to know someone's committed to making a change. It's pretty important too. So the first thing we do is we set, what are the practical goals? The goals that you want for your business, and usually they're monetary goals, aren't they? And then I want to drill down into why it is that you want that particular goal. And this is really important because we're tapping in to something deep inside you and creating an emotional attachment. That's why we want to find out your emotional goals as well. Now, why is this important? Because we want to get away from the surface and get into the depth to help you make the change, so that you can change how you were doing things, how you were approaching things before. Because to make a change, we need to make this change. And the reason why I want to get into the depths is to get away from this surface stuff. Like, our lives today are so much scroll, read the email, title, maybe the first line, scroll. Social media, scroll. We don't pay attention. And some people estimate that our attention span is less than that of a goldfish. So I want to get past the surface and dig down deep, because when we activate your heart and your mind together to help you achieving your goals, you're going to break away from that thing of the way I do anything is the way I do everything. I'm going to go a lot deeper to create a change in life. And I see this in a lot of clients. And I'm just thinking of one right now where there was hesitation and nervousness and always going to I'm not good enough before commencing an activity. And if you start anything with I'm not good enough, well, where's that going to end up? Another shipwreck. So this is tapping into a different strategy for your mind, a different program, a different way of doing things so you can get different results. Now, hey, if that resonates with you and you want to dive a little bit deeper into this yourself, just put dive into the comments and we can tee up a time to help you dive deeper into what you really want in your business, your career, and in your life. All right, have a great day. Have a thriving Thursday. And I look forward to your feedback. And if you like what I'm sharing here, then please like, comment, and share. Okay, have a great day.